Thank you for tuning in to another video by yours truly, Toby, the so-called artist. Hi, it's me, Toby, the so-called artist, and I'm back. I know I went on a little bit of a hiatus, but I did mention it in my community post that, when the new semester starts up, I will be around a lot less. But I just finished my midterms, so I am currently on spring break by the time this video goes out, and I am just itching to just draw and share it with you guys. So that is what we're going to do today. I have a general idea of what I want to draw. And basically, I've been playing Pokemon Sun and Moon on my DS in my spare time. Between that and then Cult of the Lamb, but that's not related to the video, so we're not gonna talk about my cult. We're gonna leave that for some other time. But I have been getting new Pokemon cards and drawing them, and today I want to draw Mew. I want to turn Mew into a cute character of my own, because me and my brother, my homeboy, my little bro, we talk about like if we were Pokemon, what Pokemon we would be, and he was just like, it makes so much sense for me to really like Mew, because he's just like, you're a little weirdo, and Mew is a very little weird legendary, so it makes sense that that would be you. And I take that as a compliment because I love Mew. So this is one of the only cards I have of Mew. I've been trying to get more of them, but they're one of those things where it's hard to get a card of them unless you buy a specific deck. And I try not to buy some of those because they are really expensive. And I already spend a lot of money on art supplies. So I gotta hold myself back. I gotta reel myself in. But there was this one that I got at Walmart that came with Mew and a lot of Gardevoir cards, so I have them back here. This one is super sparkly, but you can't tell because it's in a sleeve. So that is who I'm going to be drawing today, but I'm not going to be drawing it in my travel journal. That's just where I keep the card. I will be drawing it in my everyday journal, which is inside of this. The brand, I can't remember, what did you call it? Sulala. That's the name of the pencil case brand that I got. I have this full of stuff. It's my pencil case, it's my journal holder. So let me put you in top-down view so you can get a better view of what I'm doing here. Alright, welcome. Let me flip this around. It's going to be a whole lot of charm. I think this will be easier to move around once I take my journal out. So, I have some pins and things in here that kind of took away 2 of the pin slots, so I just put them up here. I have my finishing pins, so things where I write notes, highlight, or add a white highlight. This is an extra pen I have for doing my line art. I've gotten into ink, and with inks you need I don't want to call it a pen and quill, but that's basically what I've been doing. I don't know what these nibs are specifically called, but pens like this, I really love these kind of pens. So this one has alchemy ink, which is this ink here. It is in the color of Wizard's Pencil, and it is one of my favorite. This one is just a black pen I got. What is your brand? Sometimes I forget the name of the brand, and then it's hard to tell because it's engraved on the pen, but I can't read it because it's engraved on the pen. This one is just store-bought blue ink, and then this one is a blue pen, and I have my pencils. Inside here I just have scissors, glue. I need my kneaded eraser and my eraser. I keep other erasers in here, but I was drawing earlier, so they're just around my desk now. And then I have these Moomin memo pad kind of post-it notes that I got with my journal, and I'll talk about that one in a second. This is my book clip, which I will need because my book has gotten a little chunky. I do have extra Pokemon cards in here. I have this Eevee card, I have this Jolteon card, and I have this Leafeon kind of collector card that came with the Leafeon statue that's above my desk over there. So I keep these in here because I have been doing something that is, you know, some people might see it as horrible, terrible, heresy, but I do use my duplicate Pokemon cards in my collages. Sometimes I cut them up, sometimes I don't. You know, it's just something that I've started doing this year because I have a whole tin full of Pokemon cards that I don't put in like my Pokemon binders, and they're just there. And I don't have the intention of dealing with like trying to sell them to other stores and like trying to justify the price. I don't want to go through all of that. So I've taken to just using them in some of my collages. And I think I can show you guys a couple of them. Some of the pages have like personal notes to myself because I do use this as an everyday journal. But today we're talking about Pokemon. So I gotta find my Pokemon collage pages. Hold on a second. Yeah. So this is a big collage I have here, and I just put Slowpoke here. A lot of the cards I just stick on with like double-sided tape or something because glue does not work well with these Pokemon cards. I'll tell you that. No, that's just a thick. Are you a thick page or? I think. Yeah. This one, I cut up some Pokemon cards, but as you saw in my travel journal, I quite literally have duplicates of these exact cards. So this is how sparkly it is. And then these are some of my Espeon cards that I got in a pack. And this one has a different shiny effect. I don't know if you can tell on camera. It has like a Pokeball. And then this one is just like a reverse hollow. I'm learning the terms. I'm getting there. I'm learning what these words mean. But I'm not the best at figuring it out. I'm trying to see if I have any other collages in here that... No, I just have like some stickers here. I haven't filled this page yet, but I will eventually. I really like making collages and then just filling them up later. But I think that is where I am currently. Oh, I totally skipped past what this journal was. This is a Stayology B6 journal. It was their Moomin drop. So it has like this. I did put clear tape on top of the journal because when I got it, it has like this really nice shiny gold Moomin illustration. It had all the gold lettering and it came with the memo pads. This gold will leave gold glitter everywhere. The glitter ends up everywhere. So I put clear tape on top of it and I put some stickers, some cutouts from a plushie I got from Plev, if you know, you know. And I just decorated the front and the back of it. It had like one of those wrappers around the journal. So I did cut up the wrapper and I think I have it in the front here. Yeah. I cut it up and I just posted them all inside the cover page of the book. I'm so sorry if like the glare of all of the tape and the shiny stickers I have are like affecting the camera lighting. I love something that shimmers and glimmers, and unfortunately that does not show up well on camera, so I apologize. But now that I have talked your guys' ear off, I will proceed to talk your ear off even more as I fill up a spread of Pokemon doodles where I turn Mew into a cute girl or boy or non, but you know, I feel like Mew is very non-binary alien-esque, so they're just gonna be cute. So I will put this here to hold my book open. Are you getting caught on something? You are. Come on, sit. There you go. All right, I'm gonna get my table adjuster, so we are going to change camera angles again. All right, and here we are at the new angle. Very comfy cozy. I hope you guys are comfy cozy. And now we're gonna get started with sketching. Now, you might have been able to figure this out from, once again, the title of the video, but I want this to be a more like a draw with me kind of video where I talk you guys through my art process, which means that this video is going to be a long watch. So I have not even just a long watch, it's gonna be a long yap session. So let me make sure my beverage of choice is nearby. I am drinking soda. It's Pepsi. I know, it's not good to drink so much soda, but I like to do what I want and what makes me happy, and sometimes what makes me happy is drinking soda. Let me live. Anyway, please excuse the paint on my hands. I did a painting earlier today, and so I just haven't washed my hands after the painting. I did the painting, cleaned my desk, and then, well, cleared my desk, and then got set up to record this YouTube video. So I am very much a jump from one thing to another kind of person. No breaks. Even though it's my spring break and I'm supposed to relax. No relaxing. I must be productive. So, this is an Otto Sharp pencil. I have this in the chunky version and then the normal pencil size. This one is, I believe, a 0.5, and this one is a 2.0. So they are two drastic pencils, but I like using this to start off my sketches. I will either use this or just like a jumbo pencil, but when I'm traveling, I prefer to use this because I can put the lead down. And so it's easier than having to deal with like a sharpener all the time, which, I hate dealing with like sharpener shavings, and sometimes it doesn't sharpen right, and then your point breaks and you have to start all over again. It's a big hassle that I don't like going through. So we're going to be doing Mew as a cute character. I did not prep my Pinterest board, so I am going to pull up my Pinterest board for poses because I'm very much getting to a point where I do a lot of generic poses. Like I have my select poses I immediately am drawn to, and that is not good. So I have to get out of that. I gotta diversify my repertoire. Yeah, I know big words. I know smart language. I am a college student with only like less than 20 credits left to graduate. So who knows, by the end of the year, you guys might be seeing a video. It's just, I graduated from college. So hopefully things go right because it is basically a money game now with finishing college of figuring out if I'll get enough scholarships for the last semester, or if like student loans, if I take out another loan, will that cover everything? So it's a lot of back and forth, and then they're cutting the grants that people get. So I will never say not go to college, but I will say prepare to put a lot of money into yourself. Like college is an investment into you. So please prep money, or just you're gonna have to like put in the loans and do a lot of research into scholarships and grants. All right. So I like starting with the head. I've actually been using the Stayology books because they have like this graph paper, and it's very faint, so it's not too distracting. Because I have another journal that has like a graph paper, but it's too dark of lines, so it distracts me sometimes. But this lets me easily proportion things because everything's in this little grid. So I think it's really good when you're practicing like anatomy and everything because it gives you a place to just anchor things to. So I found this cute pose. I kind of want to make their head tilt a little more because I want to have like their neck kind of look a little weird. Because I feel like Mew gives me naked cat energy. Like that's a hairless Sphinx cat if I've ever seen one. And I've seen one. So they are a little weird, a little gangly. So this little cute Mew person, baby, it's basically a Gajinka. I'm basically just drawing a Gajinka. I'm gonna have them hold like a Pokemon ball, but it's like a plushie. So this is just Pokemon ball. I would play, honestly, more Pokemon games. I have not played any of the Pokemon games beyond Pokemon Sword and Shield. Because, Pokemon Arceus didn't really interest me. I'm not gonna lie. Because, like, it didn't look pretty. Like, it didn't look graphically good. And that's saying something because I'm a DS glazer, okay? At least on the DS, everything's pixelated, and that's okay. But for like the Switch and everything, and I was just like, I'm looking at it and comparing it to like Pokemon Sword and Shield, I'm like, why does the graphics look like they got a little worse? And then by like Pokemon, what was it? Scarlet and Violet? Those graphics did not look good at all when they showed it. And I was just like, okay, not getting that one either. And then I know we had like Pokemon Alphabet. I can't remember. It's just Pokemon Alphabet. And that one was also kind of iffy. And then I heard about like the gameplay was bad, so I just didn't buy that one either. And then they just announced the Pokemon Wind and Waves, which looks okay. The Pokemon are always going to look the best. That's where most of the budget goes. I just don't know, like, is this going to be a Pokemon game where we fight on a battleship? Like, am I joining the Navy? Or is this going to be a Pokemon game where are we like, because it's giving, Pokemon Wind and Waves is giving Mario and Luigi brothership. That's what it's giving. Oh, a Mario and Luigi brothership styled Pokemon game would be so cute. Like if they took those two art styles and combined them, so cute. Probably won't though, but I just think it's funny. But it just doesn't interest me. The Pokemon look good, you know. I'm gonna get like the Pokemon cards of some of the Pokemon, but I probably still won't get the game. That and like Switch 2 is super expensive, but I don't care for all of that. I think I made their legs a little too big, so I'm gonna erase them. But I don't really talk about Pokemon as much because I'm not really I'm not competitive in the Pokemon games. I'm truly a for fun kind of person. And I like, you know, just the Pokemon games for the DS. I think the only Pokemon games I had for the Switch was Pokemon Sword and Shield and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. That one was my favorite rendition of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon that I played, and I love it. I'm so sad because my Switch is broken and I can't play more Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. That's where I absolutely fell in love with like Skitty as a Pokemon, because I'm like, no, that's me. That's me. Like, I would love to be so engrossed with Pokemon, but Nintendo's kind of a mean company to like artists and like people who do like fan projects, because I had a whole cute idea where I would do like a little Pokemon comic about like Pokemon who look like they should be another type getting that typing and how would they deal with it. Because I think little Pokemon comics where it's like they're the Pokemons themselves, but it's like in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon style would be really cute. But Nintendo's very like harsh when you're doing things like for fun with their IPs, which I get it, it's your IP, but also like, please be nicer to me. Please don't sue me. Please, pretty please. That's like why I don't like post as much about my Super Mario OC Caramel, cause I had the biggest fear when I was a kid of getting sued. I'm sorry, excuse me. I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm drinking soda and it's making me burpy. I think it has passed. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I have the biggest irrational fear. It's not even irrational fear. It can happen. I don't want to get sued. Would hate getting sued. Like, I don't want to deal with court. I don't want to deal with having to explain to a judge that I'm just being a little silly and drawing my character be cute online. So I just avoid it by not doing it. So I would love to do more like Pokemon cute girls or cute thembies, But I fear that Pokemon would not like that. Does Mew's tail? I always, like, in my mind, I think their tail curls up and has a little bulb at the end. But I don't remember if that's me remembering that correctly or if that's actually what the Pokemon looks like. It does have little bulb at the end. Okay. I was remembering correctly. Because I'm like, I feel like your tail has a like little nub. It has a little nub. I'm a quick looker-upper, okay? If I can't remember something, I am quick to pull out something and be like, let me research that. Let me fact check it real quickly. So, I love characters with like long tails because then I can use it to fill up a spread. So I can just take their tail and tail's weird. So it's like they got a tail like an axolotl, kinda. That's what the shape is reminding me of. It's like a little axolotl tail. Okay. Alright. We've gotten most of like the body sketches done. I'm just gonna quickly check to make sure everything's proportional. This is my proportion tee. Basically, really it should go here. Your wrist and your ankle are usually uniform with like your hip bone or your shoulder, and then your elbow and knee are the halfway points between those two things. So that's just how I check my proportions. It's just like, yes, everything is proportional. And when you do a tail character, you kind of want to have like their tail, because their tail does not come out of the butthole. The tail is above. It's like lower back right above your butt crack. So when you're doing your tails on your characters, you do it above where like your butt crack is. So like you have your butt crack, your tail should really be here. I've picked that up from like Marvel comics and how to draw Marvel characters. Like they have little notes and stuff about like how to properly draw things to avoid like problems with like people making fun of your comics or your character designs. Because they're like, oh, the tail's coming out of their butt. It's like, no, it's above their butt crack. I've also been reading a lot of comics lately. I've just been indulging myself in all of my favorite nerdy things to help de-stress with school. Because college has been stressful this year, you know. Plus, you know, the world's on fire. This country's a mess. I am unfortunately an American. Born and raised, true blue. You know, caca. But it is stressful. And I have to, you know, I'm living that hope core kind of life. My glass is full and it is going to, as my mother would say, my glass will runneth over. I refuse to be depressed at this point in my life. I've worked too hard to have good mental health to let this world take that from me. God damn it, I have a will to live and I'm gonna live. Alright, now that I've done my first layer of sketching, I'm going to take I just immediately broke my leg. This is why I use lead pencils and not regular pencils, because I orchestrate when I talk and then I just break things. I am going to do the second layer of sketching with my tiny lead pencil, and this is where I go in and I add all of the fine details of like the face and the clothing and the hands. So I am gonna speed through this part, so I'm going to send it over to voiceover Toby as we work on that. Oh boy, I kind of go full steam ahead, so I'm so sorry. I blanked on actually talking about the anatomy I used here. Most of my bodybuilding structure comes from a lot of rectangles, trapezoids, or just in general square-like things. It makes it easy for me to turn the body around if I think of it as this is the front face of an object and the side face of an object and the back face of the object. Breaking such organic shapes down into more geometric shapes makes it easier for me to envision a 3D version of that shape rotating in my mind, you know. to truly understand the human body, you must first rotate. But as I explained a little bit ago, that when I do my lead pencils, or when I do my second sketch with my little skinny lead pencil, it's mostly me refining the details of the face, adding clothes, just tweaking things here and there to really clean everything up. I call it like my second sketch layer, or just my actual sketch, because I consider the first sketch I do to be the skeleton of my illustration. You know, I'm building upon it. This is the muscles. This is the tissue on top of it. I'm just simply adding on to what I already put down. And I think that is pretty much it, I have to say, when it comes to at least the sketching process for this bigger illustration here. Alright, so, sorry, I smacked into the camera. We've finished the sketch. At first I was going to put 2 slippers on their feet, but I remembered that Miu has one singular toe bean in the middle of their paw. So I decided to show off their little toe bean and then just have the shoe floating, because they are like a psychic type Pokemon, so everything's all floaty. I'm debating if I want to do just little Mius on the sides, or like a chibi version of this character. I think I might do both, like a Mew and then a chibi of the character. I might swap their positions. So I'm going to sketch that off screen, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to do the line art. Alright, and we're back. I did the little chibi sketch and I drew Mew up here. I really wanted to put more emphasis on like their kind of creature-esque proportions, because Mew is kind of a little chubby baby. Mew's like one of those, like, I would definitely call Mew a baby type looking Pokemon, because like proportionally they're baby. But this character, not baby. I'd say more baby and then babe kind of thing, but they're very cute, and I like how these sketches came out. But now that I've finished it, it is time to do the line art, as I promised you. I do have a bunch of different pens. I was thinking of doing the line art in pinks or purples. I think purple would be best. So, hold on, I gotta pull out the entire drawer, because I have a lot of microns. I got them in a bunch of different colors. I do believe I have... Yes, I have a plastic nib, and then I have a 005, which I think will be perfect for doing the line art on these illustrations. So, now that I've gotten that, I will send you back over to VoiceOver Toby, so that they can give their thoughts on the process of doing the line art. I know I totally promised to do, like, a more in-depth talking about, like, doing my art, but that's why I have like so many voiceovers when I do certain parts of the illustration process, because when I'm drawing, I am not actively thinking about the drawing, if that makes sense. Like, it's basically, I tell my hand to do the thing. Like, basically I have an image in my mind and my hand is printing out that image from my brain. So I don't have to like continuously think about what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. But that's not good for explaining things to you guys. So hopefully, when I do my line art, I will remember to give you guys an in-depth talk about the process. So, crossing my fingers that VoiceOver Toby does this voiceover justice. Yes, I am very good at speaking English. Okay. So, tiny disclaimer, all of the clips that don't have a voiceover were recorded at like 2 o'clock in the morning, because I get really inspired to do things in the wee hours of the night, and sometimes when you're really, really tired, you can only put all of your energy into one task at hand, and my main task at hand was drawing. Speaking was not on my mind. But as we go into the line art, I do use, and I flip-flop between these two pens, because I like a thick line with little tiny details added in. And you can't exactly get the best tiny details if you're using a thick pen. So I do use a 005. And I'm really committed to a micron plastic nib because I'm a bit heavy-handed sometimes when it comes to doing my illustrations, and a plastic nib just lasts longer because it's plastic. It's not like a metal kind of point. It won't bend on me. So I just use a plastic nib. That's really the only reason why I get them. Outside of the actual supplies I use, when it comes to doing my line art, if you ever watch like Mari Q on YouTube and stuff, you know how she says, thick lines on the outside, thin lines on the inside for that merchandise look. I live by that. And it's also a very common like illustration tactic or like trick used with just marketing, comics. Actually, it's something I learned about when I studied architecture, because if you put a thick line in front of a thin line, people will read it as sitting closer to you. So if you put thick lines on the object that's in the foreground, it will read as closer to you as opposed to a thin line in the background. So a lot of times when I'm putting down like extra thick line work, I'm doing it in areas where the body overlaps with something. It either overlaps with another part of the body or it overlaps with an object. This just makes it visually different enough so that even without color, your mind can still tell that this object is in front of another object. And here, as I erase, I kind of tore the page a little, but I am a veteran in the art field, okay? I am experienced with these kind of mishaps. It's okay. You just put a little tape on the back of your paper, you take a deep breath, and you move on. This thing happens all the time. It's just paper. It can be fixed. But as I went on to do the little Mew and then the chibi version of the character, I played around with like how much of the thick line art I wanted to use. Like for the Mew here, I just went with whatever. I wanted all the tiny details to be the thin line, but I mostly used the thicker line to go around the entire character's body. I do not think I followed the sketch 100% when it came to like outlining the tail, but that's okay. Things warp, things change, and I'm human. It's not going to be mathematically perfect. But when I did the chibi, I actually did a thick line around the like entire outline of the illustration. So it's kind of like a continuous thick line around the entire character. The only time the thick lines overlap is with the body and the tail, and then the hand coming towards the face. I made those kind of overlap because those were areas where there's going to be a lot of the same color touching. So you can use your line art to differentiate between if something's all going to be one color. It really helps with making it stand apart. So like the hand, the legs, and the face are all going to be the same color. So I made sure that that thick line was there so that it doesn't get all muddy in the coloring process, if that makes sense. I really hope you guys find my little chit chat about my process to be helpful and informative. And here is the finished line art. Despite how stressful doing line art can be, I adore the look of it so much. It's just something about it, seeing it all nice and neat on the page is just chef's kiss. But now that we have finished the line art and it's dry, I've erased all the other pencil marks and I had taken a moment to calm my nerves. As you guys saw briefly that I did tear the page a little at the top here, but I did tape it. Crisis was averted. These things happen because this is a pretty thin paper, so sometimes it doesn't rip so much with my hard eraser. It's always the kneaded eraser because this one's a little sticky, so when I pull back it will stick to part of the paper and it's often tearing it. But that is okay. I am calm, I am cool, I am collected, and I will move on. And now we get to do the most fun part, which is the coloring. So, you could already tell, I missed a pencil here. You could already tell from the thumbnail, because I don't know which one of these I'm going to use for the thumbnail, but I am deciding to color it the shiny Mew colors. Because yes, I love Mew, but despite my growing, admiration for pink, I live and breathe blue. I love blue so much, and shiny Mew is blue, so we're going to make them blue. And I have, trust me, a plethora of various blues in my Copic marker selection, so this is going to be a breeze. So I'm going to get my markers out, prep everything, and we are just going to jump right back over to voiceover Toby. Here's voiceover Toby with the weather. I never know what segment or segue I'm going to choose in the moment until it happens. And then when it comes time to voice things over, I am stuck with that because I'm not the best at editing. So I'm just like, yeah, you know what? We're leaving it in. I am just leaving all of the weirdness in. Truly, it is just a testament of my character. So let's lock in the same way I locked in when it came to coloring this, because from the very moment that I did this highlight on like their back and their face and then faded that out, I knew that this was going to come together so nicely. Unfortunately, the blue I used for the majority of the body was dying. But luckily, I had another blue in my collection. It was a Prismacolor marker that I was able to use that was the exact same color. So this is why I shop with all brands. It doesn't matter what the name of it is, as long as it's a marker that got good ink in it, I'm using it. And I gotta say, I loved the high toning and definition I did for the main illustration. And I also love the flat colors I used on the simple illustrations, because it kind of let me bounce back and forth to see how I can push and pull different tones of things, because I had you'll see it in a minute when I get to the sweater. But when I did these pants, I wanted this khaki color because I couldn't do denim because that would be too much blue, and I just didn't think to do black pants, like black shorts, so I decided to do khaki shorts because I was thinking Pokemon are in the wild, there's the Pokemon Safari, so I had to bring all of those nature colors together. And I did the simple red Pokeball because I felt like the white, red, and black would be the most iconic and easiest for people to recognize. I also put in pink slippers as a nod to Mew being a pink Pokemon. And I made sure that their little toe bean was purple. And here is what I was talking about with the toning of the sweater. Because at first I was going to leave it all as this khaki kind of color. But when I put it next to the khaki color of the shorts just as is, it looked weird. So I decided to go over it with this lipstick pink color, and it gave it a kind of a coral kind of color, like a old worn sweater. And I felt with Mew being such a legendary Pokemon, it kind of worked with the theme, One editing transition later, and we're done. I am so happy with how this came out. You have no idea. I don't know if you can see it in the recording of when I locked in. I entered the absolute flow state while coloring, and it was so much fun. I decided to leave these as just the flat colors to balance out the whole spread, and I know I apologized earlier in the video for having so many sparkly stickers that cause a glare in the lighting, and only for me to add even more sparkly stickers that cause a glare in the lighting. But I can't resist. I just love a sparkle. And I love how I was able to make everything so cute but very soft. And I included some stickers that were just kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but very casual, I guess. Casual and cute. Because I feel like Mew is a very cute Pokemon, but they're also, despite being a legendary, they keep it very chill. Uh, Mewtwo does a lot of stuff, but Mew mostly is just chill. They're just there. They show up and then they leave. It's like a tuxedo mask of Pokemon, you know? You didn't do anything, really, but I love you. I love you for being here. But I'm just happy with how everything turned out. You can kind of see it, maybe. I used some 3D stickers, so it's a nice texture to touch, and it makes everything real chunky in the end. So that's pretty much it for today. I really hope I was able to articulate myself well. It's been a minute since I've had to record a video, so here's to me hoping that this is good. But, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. You can go down there, talk to me, let me know about how you feel about the video. If you guys want to see more long videos from me, or do you want shorter videos from me, I would really appreciate hearing from you guys. Also, let me know who's your favorite Pokemon, both as a regular Pokemon and who's your favorite legendary Pokemon. Because I know people have like two different, like, oh, this is my favorite, but this is my favorite legendary. So let me know who's your favorites in the comments below. I wanna hear what you guys are thinking. And so that's it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Alright. Bye bye!